Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure. Hello friends, and welcome to Nature Wanderer Podcast. I'm Paul, your host, and today I am encouraging you to do what I'm doing, and that is exploring nature in a different way. I always love doing this. So many times we just wander through nature. And yes, I mean through nature, not with nature. So I'm always encouraging people to wander with nature. So get out and actually explore the natural world around you. It's a beautiful spring day, a little bit chilly, but it's been warming up. So we just got another cold snap that came through. But I've been noticing as I wandered through the woods today, all the spring ephemerals coming up, and there's a lot of trout lily coming up, and all the birds are starting to nest. I checked some nest boxes. I saw a lot of bluebirds out, and so I decided that, hey, I got my long hike in, now it's time to actually sit back and really explore nature in a different way. Whether it's from a different angle, whether it's from a different point of view, like absorbing nature, but what I'm talking about today is actually seeing nature in a different view, a different light maybe. Doing it at nighttime, I enjoy doing that. So we're going to sit down and we're going to explore. And yes, I mean sit down. Yeah, we're actually going to stop. I know, usually when we get out in nature, and I'm terrible with this because I can't sit still very long. It drives my wife crazy in the evening when I finally sit down to relax for the evening. It's like, oh, something popped in my head. I got to get up and do this. I got to do that. Yeah, we get such busy lives. So we're going to sit down and explore the nature around us. So I'm here today at Knox Farm State Park in East Aurora, New York, and I am exploring the natural world on a beautiful spring day. The sun is shining, a little bit brisk. We're only around 60 degrees, and maybe a little below that, but we're right around 60 degrees, and spring has sprung. I mean, the leaves are starting to come out on the trees. Things are looking more green. The birds are all around. There's all these spring ephemerals coming up. All the plants are starting to grow. They got to grab that sunlight before the leaves really start to get big and block all the sunlight. But I'm just sitting back. I actually have this really awesome tree. If you're familiar with Knox Farm State Park, there's the mansion, as they call it, where they hold events and such. And there's a tree not too far from there that just, the branches got so low they're actually growing into the ground and back out again. It's amazing to see these branches. I'll try to take a picture of the tree so that you can see where I'm sitting, and I'll post it on my Facebook and social media. So that's where I am, and that's what I'm doing. And I love this tree, and I love to just sit back on this tree and just absorb nature. Start being with nature instead of just in nature. Like I said in the intro, I am actually viewing nature in a different way today, and I brought a special scientific tool with me to do just such a thing. And you're probably wondering, oh man, now I got to go out and buy some big fancy electronic scientific tool. No, it's something that you may actually have right in your own house. A magnifying glass. Remember magnifying glasses? Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to love borrowing, sometimes without their permission, but I knew where the magnifying glass was, in the junk drawer of our house. Every house has one of those junk drawers where you just have all sorts of things around and you don't know where to put it, so where's it go? It goes in that drawer. And our junk drawer was always in the kitchen or in the dining room. In there we always had a magnifying glass. So I would borrow it every once in a while, and I'd go outside and I'd look at things up close with the magnifying glass. And yes, I was a kid. I had to grab some dried leaves and try to set them on fire, and yes, it did work once in a while. Don't do that, please, okay? We don't want any fires. I don't want you burning yourself. I was not one of those kids who used a magnifying glass to try to burn ants. No. I thought ants were pretty cool, and so I would just enjoy watching the ants with the magnifying glass. So if it was a sunny day, I always made sure I was at a different angle so I didn't hurt the ants. But I've got my magnifying glass today, and I'm actually looking at nature in a different way. So by just stopping and sitting and not hiking and taking it all in. I mean, I love hiking. I do so much hiking, it's incredible. But as I'm hiking, I love taking in the sounds, like all the birds today, and seeing the big picture and the beautiful field and the birds flying by. But what else is in that field? What else are in those trees that the birds are sitting in? And that's why I like to just sit once in a while. And like I said, I'm just sitting on this tree today, and I'm looking and getting a closer look at it, the bark, and looking at it with the magnifying glass right now. And we got some pretty good lighting today. The sun's actually starting to get a little bit low in the sky. And I'm seeing some moss on the tree here, on the bark. And it's got, when you look at it, I mean, if I look at it with the bare eye, yeah, I know it's moss. It's green. Yeah, but you take the magnifying glass and you can look at it really close up, and it almost looks like a shrub of some sort. And next to it on this tree is some lichen. If you see the light green on a plant, that's a lichen. And that actually means if you have a lot of lichens, some people think, oh no, the tree is sick. No, it's actually a good sign, because what it means is that this tree is healthy. The air is healthy, I should say. So when you have lichen on a tree, lichens have to grow, they can only grow, I should say, in fresh, clean air. And when I look at the lichen under the magnifying glass, it takes on a whole new life, a whole new dimension. From a distance, it's just a light green, looks kind of papery. But as I look at it under the magnifying glass, it actually looks like almost unreal. It's like a little mini landscape. So just all that, just interesting on this tree. And I'm going to look at one of the leaves that just started to bud out. And oh, we have a little fly on this one. Yeah, so leaves are just starting to bud out on here. It's a maple tree. And I mean, if I look at them, without the magnifying glass, they look pretty cool. But with the magnifying glass, you can actually see all the veins on the leaves. It gives it so much more texture. I saw that little fly crawling on it, and I can see the little like nubs on the bottom. I've got two other buds coming off of the same root of this shoot that comes out of the branch. So I've got this thick branch with all a bunch of lichens on it. It's amazing. But next to one of the lichens, you have a new tiny little stalk coming out, which looks like a big tree in itself under the magnifying glass. But with the bare eye, it's only about an inch long, this extra little shoot coming off. And then you have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves coming off, and there's some more coming out of the middle that haven't even sprouted yet. So I've got a whole new branch starting here. And then you have underneath it 2 more little buds coming up. And I just noticed something. See, if I wasn't just standing here, I wouldn't have even noticed it. It's the seeds. The seeds pods. You know what we play with in the fall? Those brown seed pods? The helicopters, as I called them when I was a kid. Well, these are just starting to grow in. They're still connected to the tree. I apologize, I'm trying to get a good angle where the sun isn't in my eyes. And you can actually see, I never really even realized this with these seeds. As they're growing, they're not fully grown yet. They're just starting to come out. But it's like they got hairs on the wings of the seeds. That's pretty interesting. I never really noticed that because I've never seen them under a magnifying glass at this stage of their life. So I actually thought that the seeds pods came out much later, but apparently they come out now. So see, I'm even learning something new. So, and above those, yeah, it looks like we have little brown, looks like little aliens on it under the magnifying glass. Little brown seed starters, I guess I could call them. Basically what the seeds came out of. Yeah, I have some more that are just starting. It's like an 1/8 of an inch, but it almost looks like a big, huge seed under the magnifying glass. So pretty interesting. I'm going to actually go down on the ground now. I'm going to look down here on the ground. I'm going to kneel on the ground here. There's some pretty interesting plants. I mean, we look at our lawns or a field and we see green. And you think that's all there is. But if you use your magnifying glass, I actually have right in front of me is a dandelion. I know by the leaves, there's no flower yet, but I can see the leaves, and you can actually see the veins on the leaves, the bumpiness. It's like a whole terrain. I lift it over, and it almost looks hairy on the bottom. But right in the middle, we have, trying to work its way out of there, there's actually some mud around it, is the flower, but it's all still enclosed, and it's ball up, and I got a little ant crawling. So I never would have seen that ant if I didn't have my magnifying glass. So there's an ant crawling by. They're so interesting to watch. I used to, like I said, I didn't burn them as a kid. Instead, I'm pushing all the grass aside right now. Oh, we got clover underneath. I lost him. I don't know where he was. Yeah, I wasn't one of those mean kids who would take the magnifying glass and burn the ants. No, I would just look at the ants and watch them. They're just so creative. Now, another thing I'm going to do here is there's some big chunks of bark, and I'm lifting up the bark and looking underneath it. I love to do this when I'm in the woods. I'm not in a wooded area right now. And underneath the bark, I can actually see there's some very light colored grass. It's having trouble, coming up because the bark's blocking it. But it's very moist, so I see the little droplets, little dew droplets underneath on the plants under there. I want to move over here a little bit. So I went maybe about 3 feet because there's actually a couple of dandelions in bloom here. And these guys are really interesting. Oh, I love those guys. I always forget they're called. I'm going to have to look it up. I'll try to put in the show notes. I'll try to remember it then. On this dandelion, there's a tiny little white spider. And he is so awesome crawling over the petals of the dandelion. A lot of people, they look at a dandelion. I mean, when I look at a dandelion, it's like, oh, there's a dandelion flower. But what most people don't realize, if you look at the pistils and the stamen of the flower, okay, this one has so many, it's multiple flowers technically. So a dandelion is multiple flowers all in one, but if you look at it, it just looks like one flower until you get your magnifying glass and you can see all the parts of the flower, even the parts that that little white spider is crawling all over. And we gotta look at the petals here and the grasses. All of this under the magnifying glass. Gotta be careful, the sun is just at the right angle. I don't want to create too small a spot and burn myself or anything around me. I also don't want to be in the shadow because then you can't really see things that close. Okay, I'm going to move over towards the woods because I want to look under some of the leaf litter because that's pretty interesting. I'm in the mowed area right now, so I'm walking over towards, actually on my way over to the woods. I think I'm going to stop where they don't mow. Yeah, they do. Nice thing about this park is they keep some sections, a lot actually, unmowed. And it used to be a farm many years ago, and they want to keep it kind of as a farm. So to do that, they kind of kept the field as kind of hay fields. Oh, these are nice. We got some flowers coming up that I didn't even notice as I was walking past. So that's what I like about coming over to the unmowed sections, because when you're in the unmowed sections, then you can usually see some more. And I've got violets here, and under the magnifying glass, you know, you can actually see inside the flower and the veins. It's like a light greenish yellow inside the flower. But with the magnifying glass, you can actually see deep down in, and you can see it's absolutely beautiful. You have these stripes coming up. It's almost like little trees. It's like you've got the trunk and the stems coming up, and it goes to purple top to it. On the leaves of the violets, you can actually see the veins. Oh, there's another little spider crawling on that leaf that I would have missed if I was just hiking through this field. You can hear in the background, I don't know if you can hear them, the field sparrows are calling. Heard some bobolinks earlier here when I was going through. And it looks like we have some early sprouts of some other flowers here. Looks like goldenrod. You can see the teeth on the edge of the leaves. And once again, it's like there's so much texture to it when you're looking at it under the magnifying glass. You can actually see the bumps, and this is a great time of day too. I always recommend when you're doing like photography or exploring nature, you get so much texture when the sun's lower in the sky. At noon, it's such a flat color, you know, flat images because, well, the sun's overhead. It makes everything flat. You're not getting any shadows. So it's kind of nice. Okay, I'm going to head over into the woods. Oh, we got some raspberries over here too. And unfortunately some garbage. Pick that up, put it in my pocket, and take it with me. Yeah, we got some raspberry bushes. Let's look at that through the magnifying glass. Those prickers look like something you don't want to mess with under magnifying glass. They look huge and pointed, and you can see the color better of them, how it's kind of a rusty brownish red towards the stem. I mean, the stem is green and it's got some reddish color to it, but the actual thorns coming out, those look very reddish brown, and then they go to almost a white tip. And it's kind of neat seeing them under a magnifying glass because you can see how the color changes better, even on the smallest spikes. So all these things, oh, and the leaves, you can actually see the hairs on the leaves under the magnifying glass. Okay, I'm going to head into the woods here because one of my favorite things to do, especially when I've got a magnifying glass and I'm exploring nature up close, is to go and look under the leaf litter in the woods. And there's a lot of leaf litter here. Gotta find a good spot. There we go. Okay, now when you do this, if you're going to do this very cautiously, very carefully. I've got some pretty interesting things around me right now. Got some trout lily on the ground, but I have some fallen logs. And remember, this could be someone's home. And you're thinking, well, a home is something big. Well, no. Even a fallen branch, which I just moved, okay, underneath, you're going to find lots of different things. And I've got some worms here. I'm looking at them through the magnifying glass, and you can actually see all their little segments on the earthworms here. There's a tiny little worm, or a little baby worm. His tail is actually white in color. That's a very young one. Oh, and this guy is moving. He's actually stretching, getting into the dirt because I exposed him. At least it's not sunny in here, so. But yeah, and you can actually see him moving under the magnifying glass and how the segments are stretching and pulling together again. Let's see what else there is. Oh yeah, we got some white roots under here. Oh, we've got a centipede. Oh, nope, sorry. It's a millipede. We've got a millipede here. Under the magnifying glass, you can actually see all the legs. Millipedes, there's 4 legs on each body segment. So 2 coming out of each side of each body segment. On a centipede, 1 leg coming out of each side. Can you see that without a magnifying glass? Not easily, but you could see it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and once again, you're disturbing someone's home. So I put that log back very gently. I didn't just slam it down. I put it back gently, so I didn't harm anyone underneath. But I'm actually scooching away some of the leaf litter here. And yep, I've got something hopping around. I can't really see what he is, so I get the magnifying glass out. He burrowed away somewhere. Yeah, there's some insect. I've got a small little snail under here. There's a slug. He's pretty cool looking. And you've got the roots of some of the plants that are coming up, and they're all white because they didn't get the chlorophyll from the sunlight. They didn't turn green. So the part that was exposed, that was above all this leaf litter, that did turn green. And I don't want to disturb them too long, so I'm going to put all this leaf litter back over, give them their home back. And I want to go over here. There's a bigger log that I want to flip over. very gently. See what's underneath. Now this one doesn't have a lot. I'm not sure. It looks like some sort of eggs underneath. Oh, there's a, I don't know what you want to call it. I've heard so many different terms, but I've always known it as a potato bug. Yeah, got a potato bug under here. They will sometimes close up. This guy's just sitting there on the bottom of our... He looks pretty cool under a magnifying glass, but he's right on the log. Don't forget to look at the bottom of the log. Don't just look under the log. Look at the bottom of the log. Yeah, there's lots of little holes in this log. It's gone through a lot of decay. It's been here a while. So you can see all these tiny little insect holes and little routes. Oh, got a really small little insect crawling along. Oh, it looks like eggs too. Yep, insect eggs. Up there, missed him. Really small millipede walking along. I mean, he is tiny. With the bare eye, I can barely see him. I would have missed him. With the magnifying glass, I was able to see him with his little antenna in the front. Yeah, the little antennae are just feeling their way around. Kind of neat to see. Let me go and see if I see anything else. Oh, there's another little, looks like some sort of pupa. And got some white fungus under here. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's just fungus of some sort. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to put this back again, very gently. This one wasn't actually resting on the ground totally because there's a couple of branches coming off of this one that kept it off the ground. There's one more thing I want to check out while I'm in the woods here that I noticed with my bare eye. There's another down tree here and it's got some shelf fungus on it, which is pretty cool. Oh, prickers. Got those. Those I felt. I didn't have to see those. So I'm looking at this shelf fungus. Usually we see them on a tree that's upright. This one is down on the ground, so it's easy to see underneath. When you look at it underneath, you can see it looks like all these little pockets under there, underneath. The top is very smooth, but the bottom has all the little crevices where the spores are. Okay, I'm going to head out of the woods here. Head back into the field. See if there's anything interesting I want to look at with my magnifying glass on the way out. And then, in my opinion, everything is awesome to look at with a magnifying glass. I've got more of the violets along here. Well, we are just about out of time, and of course I'm going to do some more exploring on my own here, but I encourage you, really, get that magnifying glass out, start stopping, if that makes sense. Start stopping more, instead of just always being out there, constantly, on the run, walking through the woods. I mean, that's cool too. I love hiking, but stop once in a while. Just stop and explore. Enjoy the nature around you. Start being with nature, not just in nature. So what I would encourage you to do, get out a magnifying glass, go out in the field. It can be in your own backyard. You'd be amazed what you would see in your own backyard. I do this every once in a while in my own backyard, where I'll just go out in the yard and I'll get the magnifying glass and I start looking at the plants and the grasses in my yard, and I start looking at the flowers as they're coming up, and I look at the trees, all with a magnifying glass, because you're seeing things, you're seeing nature in a new way. So you're looking at things totally different. So get those magnifying glasses out, Don't burn anything with it, please. And start exploring nature. It's a great thing to share with kids, too. Kids love playing with the magnifying glass. Now, I have a pretty nice magnifying glass, but even the little ones that you can buy for like $1.50 at, a 5 and 10 cent store, the plastic ones, they work pretty good. And kids love those because they can see things up close, and they can see things. It almost looks like they're, enormous through the magnifying glass. So really great to look at things in a new way, in a new light, in a new, perspective. Get down close. Don't be afraid to kneel down on the ground and get close to nature. Start seeing it up close. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Invite some friends along next week. Bring as many friends as you can and share the podcast with them. That's one of the best favors you can do for me, is start sharing the podcast more. Let everyone know how much fun you're having with the Nature Wanderer podcast, learning about nature. So I encourage you to do that. If you want to support the podcast with a monetary donation, it's greatly appreciated. All funds that I collect go towards the podcast, towards putting it together, equipment and all. You can find the links in the show notes. Go to my Ko-Fi page, buy a Nature Wanderer nature journal, or you can buy some awesome merch. So I look forward to seeing you again next week, and have a great day, and above all, keep exploring the nature around you. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings.